Hello, folks, and welcome to the second episode of the Music Elitist podcast. So I just got up here and I decided I'm gonna do this podcast. Why? Because wake up in the mood, I get in the mode, I run into money. Now that's a Paul Wall song, uh, and Paul Wall's another example of a musician that I never expected that I would like so much, and I'm just starting to get into him. But man, he is absolutely brilliant. That's what I've realized listening to more and more hip hop is I really was short sighted about hip hop music. See, here's what I got wrong. I thought that they were literally just singing about money, right, and like clubbing and stuff. But here's the thing: it's all metaphor. So like Paul Wall is a brilliant lyricist, I believe, like really brilliant, like on another level. Um, yeah, and I love that video "Run to the Money." Uh, Paul Wall, he's got such a vibe in that video. It's addictive. Great music video, and I'm gonna keep diving into his stuff. So I'm wearing this hat on this podcast. I wore a different hat on the last one. I decided I'm gonna wear a different hat on each podcast, and so this podcast is gonna last about 6 episodes because that's about how many hats I have. So if you guys want more content, you got to send me more hats, and then we'll keep this thing going. Uh, but yeah, I decided I'm going to get up this morning and run to the money because I can already tell that this podcast is going to be a complete cash cow for me. And yeah, so we're going to do this thing. Um, Now, on the last podcast, I decided I got to post it because I got to post something. I kind of don't like, I don't know, some of the stuff I said. I'm like, should I have said it like that? I'm just flying by the seat of my pants on this, and I hope it doesn't sound like I'm being condescending to these musicians, where I say like, I can't believe that I like this so much. It's really I can't believe that that I could be so wrong on these artists. That's really what it is, um, like just really wrong. So yeah, Paul Wall is a hip hop artist that I've been liking lately. Just a lot of hip hop stuff, and there's so much to dig into. So many different hip hop artists, and you just keep diving deeper with it, and it's a lot of fun. Uh, I've really been enjoying the LL Cool J Proclivities music video that came out about 6 months ago with Saweetie. And that's a music video that I hit play on. Uh, Again, just hitting play on everything, and that one just sucked me into its world. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. That music video, it's so good. Uh, it's like really colorful, and I feel like the visual aesthetic of the video just melds with the audio element of it, and it's like synesthesia, and it's all like one work of art, and it's just so well done. And the chorus by Saweetie sounds so good. It's so rich sounding and lush sounding. Uh, I just can't believe how great that is. Uh, and I like didn't really know any LL Cool J before I watched that. If you would have told me to name a song, I don't think I would have been able to do it. But now he's super on my radar, and like Paul Wall, just gonna keep diving in. Uh, really awesome stuff. Uh, so yeah, I hope YouTube keeps recommending me more rap artists. Uh, and I'm trying everyone. I've been listening to like Exhibit, like it's really great stuff. Exhibit. Who else? Yellow Wolf is one that I've really been getting into and going, wow, like the barn fire video is so addicting. That's one of his new videos, and can't stop watching that. And YouTube knows that. They know that with some of these music videos, they'll keep recommending them to me, and because they know he's gonna click it again. He's gonna click it again, and I can't resist that barn fire video. Uh, and he's playing Rockfest this year, which is cool. Because obviously he's like a hip hop musician, but that song is pretty heavy, and I could see that going down really well at a rock festival. And I saw he's got like a tour poster up that it looks like a psychedelic poster from the 60s. That's what I'm noticing lately with a lot of music that's coming out is there's such cool mixes of stuff. Like people are really mixing genres that you wouldn't expect, and like I'll be watching music videos and it'll be like 5 or 6 different styles melded into one, and you're like, how did they come up with this? Like I find it hard enough to play one style, but then to like actually consciously mix that many styles uh, is just amazing to me. I don't know how these musicians do it, but it's really impressive. All the stuff that's coming out now. Um, yeah, it's awesome. It's just like an avalanche of good stuff, and the more you listen to, the more you explore, the more you know, the more stuff comes in, and you just and by come in, I mean YouTube just keeps recommending me gold. Every time I click my homepage, there's another one, and like I'm saying, I just click play on everything, and stuff just jumps out at you. Um, every time I click my YouTube homepage, there's another artist that I got to subscribe to, and I'll subscribe to them, add a video to one of my playlists, and it's quite hard to keep up. I mean, it's you can't even come close to keeping up with the amount of great stuff that's coming out right now. And then you have all the great stuff that's came out in the past, and there's just thousands of artists, and you can't even come close to keeping up with it all. So let's see, where do we go next from here? I feel like this is off to a good start, so let's keep it going. Spotify. I'm trying to get like up and going on Spotify. I find I don't really like Spotify. I know like most people use that. A lot of people use it, and the reason I like YouTube is because they have the music videos on there. I looked it up, and I guess you can. There's music videos like on Spotify Premium, and I've seen that they'll have like a sort of visualizer on the side of it and stuff. But it just seems like YouTube is better for the music videos and the live performances. And I try Spotify, and it's like it doesn't seem like they really recommend me artists. Not like YouTube or like Facebook. The Facebook algorithm recommends me great stuff all the time. Uh, all I gotta do is scroll down 2 or 3 posts, and there's another artist, there's another one, and so that's been working really well for me. Uh, but yeah, with the YouTube, the music videos, I'm just amazed at all the amazing music videos that are coming out, and I find that nowadays that's pretty much like the majority of what I watch is music videos. I used to be a super album guy, and uh, for like 4 or 5 years there, I just listened to CDs. I didn't even have Wi-Fi in my house, so I listened to albums, and I listened to them all the way through, and that was what I thought music listening was. And then I got Wi-Fi, and I got on YouTube, and it completely opened this floodgate for me, where I started watching all kinds of live stuff and music videos. And now for me, there's no turning back. And for me, I really feel like it is video killed the radio star. So I think Trevor Horn was onto something there from the Buggles. The Buggles video killed the radio star. Where it's like my opinion now is like, why would you listen to a song when you could also watch the music video along with it? It's like you're missing out on half of the art. It seems like that Proclivities video. The video adds so much to it, I feel. uh, Definitely. And so many of these pop artists, there's such a visual element to what they do, like Maloko or like Lady Gaga. uh, yeah, like there's such a visual element to it that I feel like you get more bang for your buck if you're watching it. Definitely. And I just find it more enjoyable. It makes me pay more attention to it too when there's a visual element. I said in the last podcast that sometimes I'll throw in an album and it goes in one ear and out the other, and that's just because I have trouble paying attention. I think that's the case most of the time. Some albums I think like there's a lot of like I don't know like shoegaze albums and stuff that I just think you need to listen to over and over again to really get. uh, like Ride, like the album Ride by Nowhere. I've spun that one numerous times, and I'm like, it's just not grabbing me. But I'm sure there's some way that I can, you know, burrow my way into their music. But I find a lot of the like, yeah, shoegaze kind of stuff, uh, slacker rock. Just there's a lot of bands like that, and I find it hard to get into some of that stuff. I think it's just difficult. It's just you got to have a good knowledge of music and styles, maybe. I don't know. But I find like lately I've been liking the more like immediate stuff. I've been saying pop and country. I can't believe how much I'm loving country music and the new country music that's coming out. Because I used to be really like anti-country, especially the modern country. But now when I'm in my car, I'm always spinning. I'm always listening to B95, the modern country station, and I'm finding I'm liking most of the stuff that they play. And again, it's like the hip hop uh, music where I said earlier in this podcast that you think they're just singing about money and drugs and girls and stuff, and it's so much deeper than that. It's like with the country too. I thought, oh, they're just singing about trucks and you know drinking and stuff. And once again, it's like you don't get to that level that they're at and being played on the radio and having that level of success without knowing what you're doing. And so, uh, you realize that these songs that I would have thought are just shallow country songs, they're really not that. There's actually another layer of depth to them, and it's all metaphor with the country, the hip hop. That's what I've realized listening to more and more modern music like that. That I was really wrong about the level of depth in it. So that's really cool, and I think that adds to actually the depth of it. Is that on the surface it does seem like that, but it's almost like you got to kind of be in the know to like you got to really listen. They're not just gonna spoon feed you it. You got to look past the surface level of it. Like yeah, like Cardi B. Like I can't believe how brilliant Cardi B is, and the level of like depth in her lyric writing. She's just off the charts brilliant. Uh, Same thing like Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion is like Bob Dylan. She's her lyrics are just off the charts brilliant. I firmly believe that. But it's another thing that makes it so brilliant is you got to look past the surface, and like you got to be operating on her level. You got to. It's like she's not going to just spoon feed it to you. She's going to make you like think and like yeah. So that's really cool. I've really been enjoying her. Uh, Incredible. Like it's just so humbling because I used to be so like anti hip hop and country, and then it is like waking up from the matrix. We go, wait a second, all these artists are like pulling one over, uh, getting one over on people like me who think they know so much, but then you peel back the layers and you go, holy shit, there's a lot going on here, a lot going on. So just really been enjoying listening to hip hop and yeah, hip hop and modern country. Uh, so yeah, I'm grateful that there's so much great music coming out and so many great musicians. I'm very grateful for it. Um, yeah, we love hip hop and country on this Music Leagues podcast. We don't just listen to progressive rock anymore and think that Rush is the only band, which is where I was at for a long time. Is I thought just progressive rock was the best music genre, and that was kind of where my music elitism started. Was when I discovered progressive rock, because suddenly when I discovered progressive rock, uh, bands like Green Day and Nirvana and Metallica all became primitive, just Neanderthals. Rush can play circles around Green Day, right? That was the mindset. And suddenly when I discovered progressive rock, King Crimson, Jethro Tull, etc. Yes, all the stuff that I was listening to before just became obsolete to me, and I was like, no, this is way better. And yeah, and the branching out was a process. It took time. It started off just, okay, I'm gonna try like the Doors, right? Like the Doors is not progressive rock band, but I'm like, I'm gonna try that. Uh, let's try Velvet Underground, and it's slow. And then I got into like some post punk stuff and punk. See, what when I was like a progressive rock elitist, I wasn't listening to punk, and I thought punk again, just primitive, completely primitive. But there's so much going on there, and it's subtle. It's just more subtle. It's like with the hip hop and country, where you just gotta, you know, you gotta see that there's more going on under the surface. And post punk, it's like so much post punk feels like it's actually more progressive than progressive rock. Uh, definitely, definitely. So yeah, and then it just kept branching out. Okay, let's get some metal CDs, moving into grunge, moving into indie, you know, uh, alt country. Like I first got into Nico Case was kind of like my first country artist that I really liked. She's like alt country, right? So she's kind of my doorway into country music. But I wouldn't have gotten to country music if I didn't go through post punk land first and kept branching out. And now I'm in metal, and then you know, yeah. Now I listen to all the modern rock stuff on the radio, which I used to not like really. Uh, so yeah, the more you listen to, the bigger your musical world can become, and it just keeps going. And who knows where it's going to go from here for me? Uh, you know, the rabbit hole goes very very deep. So I'm very grateful that I'm not just on that little island anymore, listening to you know the dozen progressive rock bands that I was really into, and now I listen to thousands of music artists. It seems, I don't know if that's actually accurate. Thousands, yeah, probably. I know I got thousands of artists lined up for me to listen to. Uh, like I said, it's tough to keep up on this stuff. Uh, really tough, but so there's always more. Uh, like I said in the last podcast, it's like the autobahn. You can go as fast as you want, and there's just more and more great music. So you can't ever say like that there's a scarcity of music to discover. There's a huge abundance of incredible music, and I'm very grateful for that. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up here. This has been the second episode of the Music Elitist podcast. We will see you on the next episode. All right, thank you.